Okay, I now have the pleasure of introducing Andrea Marin Contreras, who is, I am the chair of Andy's committee, um, and delighted to, introduce Andy. The poet Audre Lorde, in writing about her famous poem Power, which if you haven't read, you need to Google it, not right now, but right after this meeting, said, Audre Lorde said, quote, that sense of writing at the edge out of urgency, not because you choose it, but because you have to, that sense of survival, that's what the poem is out of, unquote. In introducing Wildflower Tongue by Andrea Marin Contreras, I want to say yes, that's what these poems are out of. To enter this manuscript is to enter a lineage of poets, one that includes Lorde and Gloria Anzaldúa and contemporary writers like Danez Smith and Rachel McKibbins and Sarah Borjas, poets who write at the edge, who've inherited histories of violence and within the crucible of the heart's creative spirit, transmute those histories into power. Power with, not power over. Self-empowerment, grounded in love, not the brutal power of toxic patriarchy and the colonial church. Wildflower Tongue is lyrical and cutting, breathtaking and redemptive. The poems in this book are born of anguish. They center the stories of women and break silences. They center the body. Spirits hang from fingernails. Machismo is rooted in the lungs, and a mother's fears are installed on a daughter's tendons. And they remind me that the distance between you and your God, between the poet and her ancestors, between violence and something like healing, is a river of blood and women's tears. But where there's water, there's life. There's the wild flower. And alongside the intensity of the book's testimony, there is a quiet, profound wonder, a speaker who wonders about the nature of true devotion, a persona who asks, how will I find peace? And a poet who ultimately proclaims, quote, I am more than this carcass I drag in place of my shadow, unquote. Andy, it's been an honor to accompany you these last few years. I'm in awe of your strength and your crafts. I'm thrilled for this collection. It's marvelous. Please join me in welcoming Andrea Marin Contreras.
Thank you. Well, I'm gonna cry already. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I want to thank the Fresno State MFA program and the Fresno writing community for accepting me with open arms. Thank you, Professor Brynn Saito, for, can we cry? Being the light that guided me through this journey. Thank you so much, Sarah Borjas, for believing in me and inspiring me with your bold poetry. Thank you so much, Connie Hills, for having faith in me. I want to thank Professor Maider Bang for your wisdom, Professor John Hills for introducing me to the beauty of nonfiction, and Professor Stephen Church for guiding me through the world of nonfiction. A special thank you to Jefferson Beavers for holding everything together and having so much passion for the program. A big thank you to my peers, Cristina Sandoval and Mike Cantu, for going on this journey with me virtually and in person. Has been wild. Also, I want to thank my fellow poets, Rebecca, Sam, Brian, Alberto, Tony, and Gal for sharing your wisdom and nurturing the initial versions of these poems. A special thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Randy Fisher for awarding me with the Whitney Allen Fisher Memorial Scholarship, to the members of the Perenchio Foundation, to the family members of Warren and Mary Plummer, and to the family members of Edward and Alberta Brown. I would have not been able to complete this program without their generous help through scholarships. I want to thank my incredible friends, Cameron Jones for being the Meredith to my Christina Yang, Maritza for being so humble and so understanding, Susie for your positivity, and Ali for your kindness and your crazy story about your cats. I am glad I had all of you by my side through this all. A huge thank you to the Rodriguez Huaracha family for accepting me with open arms and treating me like one of their own. Thank you so much to my love, John Rodriguez, for being my rock through the wild waves of my life. For this and much more, thank you, mi chocolate. Thank you to my dad. I hope we can meet again. The biggest thank you goes to the muses of this thesis, Juana Delgado, mi abuela, Carmen Contreras, mi mamá, and Pau, mi hermana. You are my warriors. You are my world. I owe you everything. Okay. Wildflower tongue. Section 1, Peonias, an intergenerational prayer after Ella Wheeler Wilcox. Let this morning's chamomile tea burn my tongue with audacity, save my family from our misogynistic tongues. As I slump on the precious couch, remind me it's a tragedy to adore and grieve with the tip of my fingers. I hum tragic melodies I learned as a child and feel my women's lingering screams of rape and loneliness with every touch and strand of hair. The church's linens always felt cheaper than my abuela's cobijas. We judged each other before we loved each other. Don't let my mood pill regulate my caricias y alegrías. Let it become a lover que me lleva a recibir la Eucaristía. Let today's pollen push el Padre, el Hijo y el Espíritu Santo out of my system and make way for my mothers that gave their life and innocence for my existence. Remedio de mi abuela in the sequoias. Since you left yesterday, I dream of birds singing in the sequoias away from the smoke. Every time I turn, someone is dying. I can still smell your tenderness in the air, you grandma, my memories, potatoes and chicken, sacred chest, the trees in the sequoias, cinnamon, my myopic eyes. Let me cover my legs with honey, add some lime to my skin, submerge my body in boiling tea. Perhaps I'll grow a dense bark, fix the lesions along my spinal cord, all the cicatrices that show the grounds I wander on. Air char my lumbar with futile hope to appease my anguish. Wildflower tongue, after Sofia Hilo. My mother left me, and my wild tongue made me the pariah in her broken home, and became independent and aloof, and she was hard, and I didn't know her. All my life I wanted my mother. Teach me how to be a woman, she had enough. I didn't go with her till I found the truth. My father betrayed me, turned into dust, turned into oil, ready to explode with broken lungs. I sank my way to love, and my body became solitary, hungry for death. Broken family to fill my bones with a family of 4. She left, I stayed with him, he lied, made me leave. My mother left me, my father betrayed me, and my wild tongue turned into dust, turned into oil, made me the pariah in her broken home, and ready to explode with broken lungs, I sank my way, became independent and aloof to love. And she was hard, I didn't know her, and my body became solitary, hungry. All my life, I wanted my mother, dead, broken family to fill my bones, would teach me how to be a woman, a family of 4. She had enough, she left. I didn't go with her, I stayed with him till I found the truth. He lied, made me leave. Section 2, Craveles. The distance between me and God is blood. The distance between me and God is the blood. My grandma smeared in the bathroom floor when she lost the babies. The blood my mother shed when my father's words touched her. The blood I spoke when womanhood was forced by my classmates' hands. The blood my mother labeled a sickness every month. The blood abhorrently absorbed in pads and tampons in middle school. The blood shaping my body into damn crosses that needed to be covered before men burned them. The blood our mother's fear we spilled after sex before a man gave us his blessing. The blood spilled after sex with nobody's blessing but our own, because a man will never need a blessing to assault and murder us. The blood splattered on hospital sheets after we summon strength from our bones and give birth, even if it kills us. The blood we leave on mountains and rivers when trying to provide for our sons. The blood we bleed when we harvest grapes and scrub bathroom floors to put food on the table after our husbands left us. The blood we lose in cancer treatments and menopause and are told to suck it. The blood we lose, the blood we recover, we lose the blood we recover and lose again the blood. Because women are more attractive when we bleed. Many of my poems are written in different perspectives. So just keep that in mind. That one was definitely me. To love a crow. I see a murder in the cloudy skies. My body is full of spoiled plums. Grapes are delicate and the season will pay for his tuition. I drag my spoiled limbs to work. I see a murder near the trees when I drive back home. I am scared my daughter will hate me for leaving her father, and her country behind me. I grab wilted carnations and throw them out. She knows better than to let death sleep in my house. She's once again angry at me for not letting her in. How do I explain to my daughter that her father is animal? She carries his face. Sad brown eyes judge every move I make, every grape I touch, every plum I eat. Her body so small for so much hate. My daughter likes to chase crows, mesmerized by their feathers. She doesn't see their slender claws, deadly beaks. She's a cat fascinated by the coin. I see a murder in my dreams. I look for her, I chase her now, but she's hypnotized by cross. I try to grab her, but she's too fast, grows too fast, too distant. A murder claws my heart out, eats my tongue. By the time my daughter finds me, she has scratches and open wounds all over her body. Daily mass readings, number 3. Her scarlet dress shapes her curves beautifully as she dances to El Final by Rostros Ocultos. Sweat clings to her freckles and the top of her lip is begging for a break, but she smirks at me, and for a moment I know what real beauty is, as my mother hair flirts with the beat. That's the memory I try to share telepathically while I sit next to her hospital bed, motionless and feeble, like the Central Valley sun in winter. Her body is forever frozen. Section 3, Margaritas. Section 3 is an essay labeled Rostros Ocultos, written in church's class. I'm gonna read a small section from it. My silence is my penance, a penance I pay every day for believing my father was always respectful and tender with her. I live blind by his lies and actions. I believe his lies and selfless excuses for hurting my mother. What is a child supposed to believe when her hero is her mother's abuser? I sit in silence and I allow her to believe whatever sick, twisted fate we were forced to follow. I hold the blue plastic bag in front of her and ignore when she splashes vomit on my hands. I watch like a hawk when careless nurses treat my mother's veins like headphone wires needed to be untangled. And I hear her confess to me how much my father hurt her. I don't say anything, I just listen. I listened to my mother tell me how once my hero gaslighted and manipulated her and how she stayed for me and my sister. I sit in silence. I accept my penance. All I want is to meet the older daughters who have carried their grandmothers and mother's pain on their shoulders. I want to hold their hands and dance with them. I want to ask them if their fathers also wanted to abort them and call them ungrateful. I want to ask them if their mirrors also cringe in the mornings when I say, I love me, yo me amo, as the therapists have taught us. I want to ask them how I can forgive my mother's faults and my mother's skin. I want to ask them how I can forgive my skin. In the corner of my eye, I see my mother's doctor walking out of the hospital. She's a silent woman who carries truth on her shoulders. She walks out in silence and with pride. She's the first brown doctor that my mother trusted and the only doctor who speaks fluent Hindi and English. And in cases like my mother, she speaks broken Spanish. Dr. Chan's elegance gives me courage. Here I have this brown woman who has left her country and her people and has succeeded in this racist free land. She's an inspiration. Every night at 6 o'clock, she enters the room quietly. She's the first doctor to look me in the eye with compassion and judgment. The first doctor to see through me. She tells me she understands my silence and will cure my mother. She's efficient, she's polite, she's bold. I wonder what penances she has accepted to be here. Section 4, Cempasúchil. A strong daughter's portrait. A strong daughter carries her home sadness in her belly. She craves delicate hands and soft kisses on her rough edges, learns to harvest and care for the cempasúchil at a young age. She buries her faith and freedom, sacrifices her sanity to keep her family together. She places the cempasúchil next to her bed every night, hoping her soul can find her. A strong daughter will bury the wilted petals under the mattress. She carries labels and anger. She worries about the lack of money, commitment, and respect inside the four walls. A strong daughter is molded to mother sisters and father brothers. She lacks the space she deserves. A strong daughter is the winter storms drowning in the Central Valley. You cannot contain her waters. She's the summer heat. She's inevitable and deadly. You cannot stop her. There will always be cempasúchil in her. Another one to play. Daily mass readings, number 6. Her body is swollen. She's lost her energy and her scarlet dress. She tells me how my father abused her as if it was the morning news. I stare at her purple veins swallowing the chemo before I say, I know. He told me he wanted to abort me. We sit in silence. I finally sing her song. Self-portrait in cornstalks. She was my first love, natural beauty, with many ghosts dancing on her brown pupils. Unfulfilled, her laugh radiated warm and shook the air briskly. Trying to find magic on a stranger's arms, people always took her, starved her, for feeling fluttery beads on her chest. She hated her body, a hassle she was born with, bizarre object she couldn't get rid of. Her mother whined about her curveless and shapeless mass and called it love. She covered her mirrors with mud, loved herself. Many times she woke up screaming, her body pushed against a tree, hands around her neck. She felt the most awake. I almost lost her. She wanted to jog in front of the metro in Florence station. Nobody noticed her feet getting closer to the yellow line. Her father had money, bigger programs. I will never know why she didn't jump. Forced devotion never gave her light. She was an inconvenience. Wanting to visit those tracks again and again, she spoke in anger. At one point, she took on running. Behind a small town high school, a water canal spent most of the year drier than her face. By the canal, cornstalks danced with her flutter as she broke her ankle once or twice. During the summer, the stalks grew taller than her. Oh, how she wished for a beast to come out and swallow her. Sometimes I still see her, walking barefoot in the fields, surrounded by moles and mosquitoes, the night bathing her troubled frame. Self-portrait. Healing. I don't visit her anymore. I have buried her aged skin in the fields, surrounded by stalks. I met her there. I fell in love with her. On my drive to Fresno, I still catch me glancing at the fields. I sense my body aching, trying to get out of the car and run towards the cornstalks, wanting to pull my hair out and finally see what my insides look like. I hung the memory of her to the left side of my sternum. She's my past, a memory. She is me, but I am not her anymore. My last poem. In this poem, You Don't Mother Me. Hope you paid attention in your Spanish class. Te quiero escribir el poema más bonito del mundo, donde tu papá no te abandona y tu mamá no llora. En este poema tú siempre vas a sonreír y tus pecas besarán la luz. Yo me llevaré tu sonrisa como un souvenir en mis bolsillos. In this poem, you will listen to Jueves by La Oreja de Van Gogh in silence. You will scream as I hold your hand, si fuera más guapa y un poco más lista, si fuera especial, si fuera de revista. And I will nod and accept your tears in me. Llora, mamá, llora. Tú eres especial, aunque tus ojos te aterrorizan. I want to write a poem where you don't get cancer and I don't fight with the insurance company. In this poem, you choose to dance with the wind and you dance with it for a living. No more spoiled plums in your blood, no more field work for a coin. En este poema, nobody takes you for granted. Tu cuerpo se llena de cempasúchil y claveles, amas y niveles. In this poem, your heart will burst with love and you will only know the delicate touch of a rose. En este poema cantarás las canciones de La Oreja de Van Gogh, mientras yo existo en la luz de tus ojos y los suspiros de tus mañanas. Thank you.